Dear Lord, we thank you for this morning. You said in our weakness you would be our strength, so we pray that we would lean dependently upon you to make wise decisions for this county. We just thank you for this day and being in our presence in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Gothier, absent. Drummond,
Here.
Reggie,
Present.
Lennox,
Present.
Johnson.
Here. All right. Approve the minutes from the August 19th, 2020 meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded by Bergie. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Yes?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, I'm an aye.
Adam?
3-1. I said yes. Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay. Motion, or those opposed say no. Motion passes. All right, minutes are approved. Public comment. Any public comment? Dave? No? Anyone? All right.
Anybody in that audience?
Any public comment on Zoom?
Just cover the bases.
All right. Presentations. So we have, is Bill there? Bill, are you out there? Bill Pavella? I got to get on here somewhere, or some way to be able to see who's on there. You there, John? Can you tell if we have anybody there online?
He said no.
Nobody there, huh? All right. Well, who we did have was a guy by the name of Bill
Pavella?
Pavella from MEDC talking about some COVID reimbursement program monies.
Yeah.
Let's see. I had sent an email. I had to give them directions this morning, or yesterday to get on. Okay.
It's from trial court jury to circuit court jury.
Okay. Hey John, where's the link? I'm on the web page. Never mind.
Bulletin board when I.
Yeah. Oh, look at, I haven't been on here since. Fancy. All right.
Oh, I forgot. I tried to to what?
Lieutenant Board of Commissioners. Yeah, I see it now. Little change, thank you. This is new. What do I sign in with, John?
That was the postage.
Yeah,
Are there a lot of people out there?
I haven't been able to get on yet.
it's on the agenda.
Okay.
It says sign in to Zoom. I've never had to do that.
I'll almost always have to.
Odd.
Yeah. I just wanted to see who was out there so we'd see it also. Can you put them up there?
No, I can't put it. No one signed in yet.
All right.
So I will take a look and figure out what's going on with that.
I'll take the whole.
No, it's not your computer.
Okay. Maybe that's why nobody signed in. All right. Well, let's wait a minute. He might be trying to sign in and can't because you gotta have a password. Anything else we want to tackle while we're waiting? We can do claims under new business. You wanna wait?
Plow on and then go circle back. Unless you don't wanna talk about Michigan Unemployment Work Share right now.
No, we can. Anything else to add to the agenda? Any other issues? There was something
Carolyn
on,
wanted a motion on the,
Giving it to him.
giving it to Adam.
we'll
Yep.
do that under claims.
I'll do it under, finance report.
Okay.
I have a few under finance report we have to do. Yep, I do have it. You want it?
No, I just wanted to know if you were gonna put it under new business.
I haven't had a chance to read it. He just gave it to me 10 minutes ago, so. He said it's by the end of the year, so we can address the next meeting.
Counting down from 10 in my head.
You're gonna be there a long time.
All right,
Before
Or
John.
repeating it a lot of times.
move on then. All right, unfinished business. So,
I think, if we might, personnel has a statement, I guess we would offer, that we continue with the work share only or primarily because we don't know if the governor's going to come out with another executive order that backs things up. And if she does, that may give us cause to address that. But at this point, no one being certified until at this point, nobody being certified. Work hours will continue as they are normal, 8:30 to 12, 1 to 4:30, which is what they've worked this week and will continue to work. And we recommend retaining the building hours as they are. If we have to go back, there's no sense in continually flip-flopping. People have become accustomed to the building hours, and it seems just wasted energy to change them and change them and change them. So we would recommend that we do not make any plans to certify anyone, but leave the work share program in place in case the governor comes up with another executive order. Leave work hours at the traditional normal, 7 hours a day, and retain the building hours as they are.
okay.
May I ask you questions?
Just a second. Anybody else here got any? Gary, you're all good. Adam?
Why don't we want to keep, because the primarily people that were doing it were under union contract, and we don't have an agreement to extend? Is that the reason?
Well, yeah, we only have an agreement through the end of August. So there were, how many, Aaron, how many were there? 9? 8? And you're
There was 7
7 with
participating.
7 union members.
Yeah.
So yeah, that agreement ended at the end of August. And then, but the other ones didn't, that was non-union positions.
Okay. What do you got, Cheryl?
Well, my question was, in order to participate in the program, do you not need a plan?
We would continue our same plan. So our last motion, as far as I remember, our motion from our last meeting was to continue the work share program
Under the same plan?
under everyone under the same plans.
20, 10 and 20?
If I'm correct, I believe Kim stated that she would have to resubmit everything under
Yeah.
a new plan
Correct.
because our plan ended.
Correct.
Question was,
That's what I'm asking.
So we didn't do that. I thought that last one would have said we would have, when we voted on
But
it
we are
last week.
able to do that, and
Kim,
if we,
would you like me to have her clarify?
Yeah.
Kim, could you clarify, we have to create a new plan now that our plan has ended?
Everything starts over from the beginning.
Right. So I guess we knew that, right? That we
So-
were just gonna redo that, resubmit it under the same thing.
So when we voted, we didn't make it clear that we're gonna proceed under the same plan? Is that what I'm hearing?
For 10 and 20%, correct. That was not decided. You wanted to.
No, because wasn't there the discussion of that you'd have to, in order to get any of the funds, they'd have to hit 30%? I think that's what you had mentioned.
Discussion, yes.
Okay, I know I'm still got it.
Yeah, so the motion said to continue participation in the work share program pending agreements with the unions through the remainder of 2020. And I guess I didn't think we were changing the percentages. but it'll be more specific.
Pending the
In that
agreement.
case, then we would just be cut wages. We wouldn't be eligible for the extra money.
And at that time, yeah, we didn't know what at the time, we didn't know what there was gonna be $100 minimum, or we didn't have that information at that time, I don't think. They
Now,
were just talking about what they were gonna do.
if you continue or enter into a new program at the 10 and 20%, does the union still have to vote on that when it comes time? Or we're just,
But we would
No.
not, we would have people working their normal full hours and not plan on certifying anybody.
right, I understand.
Okay,
But let's say she shuts us down again and we are reduced to 10 and 20% as stated.
No, cause our agreement ended in the end of August, so I think we'd have to have a new
The
agreement.
union would have to re-vote.
Yeah, we'd have to have a new agreement.
From here on through the end of the year.
Even though you've got that letter of understanding signed by Curtis?
The one I sent you?
Yeah.
That was that was a draft, and I couldn't erase his. That was what I offered
Oh,
for the next.
He actually didn't sign it.
No,
Okay,
No.
that had me worried.
Nope.
All right.
no, that just goes from now, end of August till the end of the year. And what that was in, an agreement that basically said the union is in agreement with the county participating in the work share program with hour reduction certifications to be negotiated depending upon the COVID-19 necessary responses.
Isn't the problem with that, you'd have to have a plan in place to continue, and if it's set at 10 and 20, you couldn't do 30. to
So
get the money.
you're right. I mean, because I had assumed we were staying at 10 and 20, irregardless. I didn't think we'd go anymore. I don't think department heads want to do any more than 10%.
Okay, if something happened and we were closed down and we needed to do the work share plan, if we have something in place and we need to cancel it, we can cancel it
Mhm.
and we can start another one at a different rate. But we have to cancel one to start the other one and the process starts all over.
Okay.
I thought if we got out, we could not get back in.
And that's what I thought too, but that's not.
I thought that was what Avis said.
I will have to look into that because my understanding was we would be able to cancel and submit a new plan.
Yeah, and after reading some more on the information, I think there was even a place where you could adjust the plan. Yeah,
Start all over.
yeah.
I asked Davis about that and she said.
Just
that you
easier to
can't
cancel
adjust
it.
the percentages, you have to literally start all over.
Right, and that maybe when they said adjust the plan, it might not have been the percentages, might have been the amount of people or the amount of groups, but maybe not the
We don't
percentages.
have to certify everybody that we sign up, but we do have to have everybody that we want in the group signed up
Mhm.
to begin with.
Along with that, personnel also would indicate that at this point, we remove the department heads from any kind of work share or certification.
Well, they are. I mean, we only went through our plan is done, right? So we don't have a plan right now. There is no
Correct, and I'm
plan.
saying in the new plan, or we are saying in the new plan, we exclude IT, building and grounds, and equalization.
Well, so noted. I don't know why, but why we want to do that, but because they're going to be, if there's a risk, they're going to be the same situation as anybody else. And, I guess I thought that most of this board was, and everybody I've talked to wishes we'd have done this back in April, and I don't want us to get caught again. Where we
Hindsight's
pay
wonderful.
everybody. So we want a program in place where we would be reducing hours and yet being able to compensate people, but not have to absorb the whole cost of payroll off the general fund. Like we did in the spring. Which that would allow us to do that. So I mean, you don't have to be certified. So if we choose not to do department heads or anyone, we wouldn't have to. But not knowing what the future holds, I would say.
Putting them on the plan, we don't have a problem with.
Right.
We do not believe there should be any anticipation that they would ever be certified.
Okay.
So, at the end of the day here, we need to decide what the groups are gonna be.
You know, you can do a month. Just a matter of recertifying every month.
Right, we're just trying to save
Confirm that they can do it.
you the extra hoops, is what we were trying to do. I mean, if this date is correct, we're saving $2,000 a week at the current plan.
Yep. So there is the discussion. I'll bring it up because I know we talked about it at the time. So all these groups, how many total Fed PUI payments were there? Do you remember? Do you know?
Estimated.
3 certifications,
3 certifications,
which is 2 weeks each one, so there's 6 weeks.
6 weeks, and there would have been $600 additional dollars each of those weeks. No, how much? Just through July?
They got 3
3 of those?
3 weeks.
So it was $1,800 additional benefits through the federal unemployment, right?
Okay, so we get signed back up because it wasn't defined that we're gonna keep the same groups. We didn't make that clear.
Same percentages.
That's what I mean, same percentages.
No, because
Because the hangup was,
if you
wouldn't
didn't hit the
qualify for the
30%, yeah, you wouldn't.
but the deal is this, is even if it came up to where no department can afford to lay anybody off 30%, regardless.
Agreed.
So why can't we just sign up under the 10 and 20 for another month? Right? And then
I'm hearing you.
certify as we go. When the rules all come down to the extra, whatever the state's gonna kick in, take it from there.
So obviously this
The other option is just quit doing it.
This is something that can be done with department heads, no problem, or ununion. But with union folks, we'd have to sit down and talk this out.
But to get agreement.
I mean, there was a discussion that you got $1,800 that you didn't expect, so that would help offset some of the monies that were lost or that would be decreased over the next however many months.
I have a feeling though the 10 and 20% is gonna be a major issue this time around, especially without the extra money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There would be so you would be taking a payroll cut of each week.
Whereas others are only taking 10%. So it's gonna be a hard a hard sell to the union
You
to
got it right
continue
there.
at 20%.
So you're getting compensated still from state unemployment, 20%, $72. So it's a loss of $30-some a week. So $30 a week for the next 16 weeks is what, $480. If you went to the end of the year, 16 weeks, $480.
$30 a week times 16 weeks?
30, is that 300?
300 and
$480. About $500.
It's 20% of 362. Anybody got a calculator?
$72.
Is it?
Yeah.
So 144, whereas what was 20% was a whole day? So 7 hours times $18 an hour times 2.
Can you hand me that, Carolyn? Because I don't have one of those.
The other alternative's to let it go and do actual layoffs if we need to. If she comes back, just do layoffs.
So you reduced 264 and paid 144. This is on a 2-week period. So the reduced salary was 264. Unemployment monies were 144.
120.
So 100 and so that would be $100. Yeah, $120 in 2 weeks. That's $60. $60 a week reduction. Right? Am I right?
Say that again.
So the salary was reduced, and I'm only talking about you because you're talking. So
That's fine.
Yours is 291 actually, and you were paid unemployment of 144, and that's every 2 weeks, right, Kim?
50,
Cody. So yeah,
75.
75 less per week.
Whereas 10%,
10% is 35 some dollars per week.
right,
But then they're only getting 10% unemployment too.
right, I understand that, but
So I mean, they don't, you're getting double the unemployment benefit at the 20%.
which really isn't much.
Well, it's double,
20% of your,
goes from 72 to $140.
Right, and then I have to pay taxes too, so.
So $70 a week times 16 weeks, right? That's what we got left, 4 months, 16 weeks. Is 700 for $1,100 till the end of the year.
What's the soonest we could get signed back on? This Saturday?
guys, this Saturday.
So start date would be the 5th. That would be halfway through pay period. Right? So 12th would be the easier way to do it. I'm just working out the mechanics before we do something here, because you know that's coming next, right?
You're working out the mechanics on the assumption
And assumption that we go ahead with it. I
with
just,
what it is current.
Yes.
Or not current.
if we keep everything the same and proceed for another period of time. So as soon as we could get back, sign back up now is the 12th, because we don't wanna do it midway through a payroll to make that extra headache for the clerk, right?
Mhm.
So if we started on the 12th and we would go,
That gives us a week to talk
you
to
wanna
the
go 2
union.
pay periods, you wanna go 4 pay periods, how long do you wanna do this, 10 to 20%? That's what we had to.
Well, if we're gonna be halfway through September, we go to the end of October.
So,
That'd be
12,
3 pay periods.
26, 10th, and the 24th. So we go through 10, 24. How many determine that is the end of the pay period? That would be it, every 2 weeks, right?
Pay period just ended.
Oh, so the 26th will be the next one.
Well,
Okay.
Another calendar in front of
Our
me.
pay period ends.
What are you
Oh,
looking
I'm
for?
sorry, 13th.
That's just
Yep,
want you to get on.
correct, 13th. 27th is the first pay period. To the 11th, to the 25th, so 10/25. Tell you what I'm gonna do, we can vote it down if we want to. I'll make a motion, we continue work share under the same parameters and guidelines, and people and groups, and all therein. Starting on, well, we qualify on Saturday, but for pay periods starting 9/12 through 10/25.
Are you gonna certify us?
I haven't, this doesn't say it's gonna be certified, it just said we're gonna continue in the work share program. This is defining what we decided last meeting. Because we decided already we wanted to sign
I'll
up,
second your motion so that
right?
we can go
We
through
already decided
discussion.
the last meeting, we wanted to get back in the program.
Yep.
There's things that are up in the air. Now, if something comes down that says there's different qualifications for the state money or whatever, for the employee's sake, we've indicated that we can cancel current where we're at, right? And then start new. But in the meantime, if we do get an executive order today, right? Because there's supposed to be a press conference today, I think.
2:30, yeah.
You know, if something happens today,
Mhm.
we're ready to set up to get back in there for the next pay periods, right?
Yes.
There's another one coming out Friday.
That's my motion. And this motion does not say anyone's going to be certified. It just says that we're in a work share
Yeah,
program.
that's what I thought we did the last meeting.
And that's what we
Yep.
determined. We just didn't lay out the guidelines of the percentages and the who in the time frame. Well, we did till the end of the year, but, so I'm changing that, aren't I?
That's okay.
You want to amend it? Go ahead.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's the motion on the table.
And then I told you I'd second it.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
Clearly, this is not an indication of certification. It is
Nope.
only an indication of the plan being in place.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we have the issue with the union anyway. We have to sit with them and talk about what we're gonna do.
We've been playing certification. We haven't officially we have never as a board officially decided who gets certified either. It was up to the department head, so.
So what I had given Aaron was basically the same agreement we had last time, and I added reduction of hours and certification of workers will be negotiated as dependent upon COVID-19 required responses. That would be the agreement that would allow us to start up the work share program, which we need. We have to have an agreement with these groups. So we have to have you guys approve that. So it doesn't say there's gonna be any certification, but it'd be based upon what response is necessary for any kind of shutdowns or.
How can percentages and hours be negotiable if the plan's already set up
Because we can cancel it.
and read?
Yes, correct.
So what does that do for Kim? Is she gonna continue?
Well, we've got until, what's your date on start? 9/12?
9/12 to
So
10/25.
we've got until 9/12 to get something with you figured out.
That's a week from Saturday.
Curtis just emailed me back too.
Do you include me?
I don't know. I know he was wondering how his signature got on that.
I was too.
Freaked him out. I just used the other one and edited it and said, here, what do you think? All right, any other discussion? Everybody understand what we're voting on? All right,
Wait, one more second. Can you ask your questions again, Cheryl, one more time? That you had, the two questions you had?
You just covered, both of them.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
all right. Hearing no other discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, continuing the work share program starting on 9/12 through 10/25, signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Can I say aye?
You can
Yes,
say aye.
and aye.
Yes, aye.
Yeah, or I say aye. Doesn't mean I guess.
Aye, aye.
Opposed?
Yes, I opposed.
Okay, 3-1. Continues.
Oh, man.
All right.
We got our presenter.
No, he
Yeah.
just emailed me, said, what time?
Oh, well. that-
Bill, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm thinking he didn't sign in.
Hi, Carrie.
Ooh, I don't have the claims. Do you have the claims? Do I have the claims?
I never got them.
Hold on, I got it here.
No, I don't.
I don't either. Do you guys have copies of the claims?
Yes, I do, sorry.
Are we ready to go to claims?
All right. New business claims, go ahead.
Motion to approve the pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between 8/19/2020 and 9/1/2020 for check numbers 141-714 to 141-819, and e-check numbers 1371 to 1383 for a grand total of $334,715.86.
There's support?
Support.
Any discussion?
We didn't get a copy of those this week, did we?
It was emailed to us.
Oh, was it? I'm
Yep.
sorry.
I didn't print it out, but it was emailed.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Drummond,
Yes.
Reagan,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it over the beeping. Was it me? Yep. Yes.
Yes. Oh, this is 8, this is 9, isn't it? 9/2/20. All right.
Okay, finance has a few things. We're moving on to the finance report. The first one is operational line transfers. I didn't make copies for everybody. I'll just tell you what it is. We need to cover hospital deductibles for, oh boy, who's this? He didn't write the description. Thanks a lot, Dan.
What's the second number?
890.
Coming out of contingency.
Into 101, 101, 801,
Commissioners.
Contingency into.
legal
Board of
services.
Commissioners.
Yep. And then there's 600 going into there and 500 going into 101, 101, 716 out of contingency.
716 000
002.
02.
That would be the deductible.
Yep, deductibles. Can I say them all and we vote on it at once, or do you want to do one more time?
So, can we describe each one and we can do them all? I'm fine with that.
I have another one for $900 from trial court jury postage to court circuit court jury postage to cover a shortage there. And I have a third one. We need to increase Fund 240 by the amount of $1,188. New fund total will be $114,671. Please help me remember what that was.
240 is MSU.
MSU, yep. In particular,
It's going into
Medical.
716
a shortage in there.
000. Yeah.
Okay. So those are the three money moves we have to make.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
Support.
Support. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Reggie,
Yes.
Neck,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Brummer.
Yes.
Finance would also like to request that we set up a budget workshop. Target date for us would be the 10th, September 10th. We won't have all the data in,
No.
okay, but
This
well,
building, I mean, this room, I believe, no, not the 10th. I've got something the 10th. I didn't bring my day planner in the 10th.
Well, I know I've got mental health and Curtis Township both in that day.
okay. Well, tell you what.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, it's all good. We want to kick off the budget process. We're supposed to have all the numbers in from the department heads by the 15th, and what they're gonna have for expenditures. If that's the case, then maybe we can try to have it the afternoon of the 16th after our meeting.
Yep.
Works for me.
Once again, we won't have all the numbers and exact anything, but we need to lay out how we're gonna attack it for the rest of the year here. So we're not sitting here the first week of December and wringing our hands and
I would assume
gnashing
that
teeth.
we would have our health care. She was promising us by the middle of September.
That is also supposed to have that information as well. But what I'm saying is, we want to sit down and make a plan, but I'm not promising we're gonna have all the information available to go over and do
Yep.
meaningful numbers situation.
That's on a meeting date anyways. Usually I keep those clear.
16th?
Yeah, the 16th. You want to just extend the regular
time?
meeting, recess, and come back?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So moved.
So we can determine a schedule for workshops, how we're gonna attack this and get it wrapped up.
It was
So-
16th, right?
Yes, 16th.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And that's it for, finance. Other than, we've been having our weekly meetings and we're really taking care of a lot of, maintenance items. It's really panning out very well.
Good.
Good.
All right.
Thanks to the clerk and the treasurer, of course.
Trying to see if this guy showed up yet. Bill, are you there? Have you came into Zoom.
This one.
That was part of the three I handed you.
Okay. I wanted him to.
Well, we're running out of,
Yeah, well,
What was the MEDC about?
so what Bill was gonna provide us, he had talked to me, we've had 100 and some thousand designated for Elkhorn County for COVID expenses. And for the county expenses, township, villages, towns, whatever, anything within in our jurisdiction, yeah, it's coming through the HUD department and a couple other things. So he's our contact. He wants to explain some of the ways that we can utilize these monies, how some of the ways that townships and villages and cities can use them. So I did send out an email to all the supervisors and clerk or village and city. I only got a couple answers back. Some of them said we don't have any expenses, so there really isn't any reason for us to be involved, but others did. Hopefully and there were some ideas that we may not have thought of where some expenses were. Obviously, preset general fund expenditures that were already budgeted are not going to be allowed, but any overtime, any kind of, the cleaning, any type of response.
As long as it's
expenses.
not being covered by some other fund.
Yeah, I would think that would be.
Because you said no double dipping, but you could, in other words, if we only got compensated 75% for something, with this fund, we could pick up the other 25.
But he's not showing up here. All right, just emailed me, so let me try this.
So I'm wondering, like EMS, we had to extend
Yes.
hours for one of the.
Let's recess for 5 minutes and see if we can get him on here.
I want my coffee.
It was a pretty. All right. Not me on. There. Okay, so Bill is not going to be available today for this meeting, so we'll see if we can get him for another meeting and talk to him, or another time, maybe this afternoon, just for information purposes. So let's move on. We've got our unemployment work share claims, trial court line, and okay, treasurer's report.
All right, as you may or may not know, the revenue sharing was withheld and replaced with COVID CARES Act funds in the tune of $92,000 and some odd dollars, which we have received. Those are going into a different fund based on the recommendations of the state for the tracking for the COVID funds, and so there is a new, I would ask that you approve new fund 282 COVID, other federal grants. I should have wrote it up, but this all happened yesterday.
I'll make a motion to approve for that
Support.
fund.
You provide all the numbers and all that, right? Or provide it to yourself?
Absolutely. It'll be Fund 282, which will be the collection, the basis for tracking all the COVID funds that we're receiving.
So that was, I read that, I didn't understand it completely. So is that replacing revenue sharing or in addition to?
No, that is replacing the revenue sharing. It has specific parameters on what we can and cannot spend it on.
That's
And what we
crafty.
do not expend, we have to send back to the state.
Man.
And how much difference is there between what we should have got for revenue sharing?
It's basically a wash.
Yeah, but if they define
But
what you could spend it
with
on, it
strings
doesn't go to
attached,
general.
Well, yeah, but I'm just wondering if we lost more than just that. Okay, thank you.
It depends on how it's expended, and it has to be COVID related.
So we need to go back in and with the general fund, we need to amend the general fund by -92.
No,
No?
I would suggest not at this time.
Not if it's- Well, right, but we know
But
that.
according to what you're saying, and I'll do some research as well, is that we were in the past accustomed to having the money as our general fund is to do what we please, and now it's pigeonholed just for COVID-19.
Correct.
Wow.
Do you
So I
have
have to
a,
call
do you have a list of stuff we can do with it or not, or is that you
I
have to
have the
be?
CARES Act printed out, and they don't have anything specific in there. I can get, as it comes through, I will get more information. But at this time, what's not expended on COVID-related expenses throughout the rest of the year is to be returned to the state.
And
Is this
who's-
our last payment or
August, no, this is their last fiscal payment. for
their
2020.
last fiscal
They'll
payment?
start 2021
Right.
in September,
And-
or October 1st.
How, okay, we've got 426 disaster line that, that we were channeling
Correct.
COVID expenses through. Is there a correlation between those two? And if so,
There will be in the end, which is why I asked the board for who is coordinating all these COVID grants and expenses, because there needs to be a central location, because we're getting grants in from different departments that are applying and no one knows about it. I've got 3 different funding websites that I have to update based on our information and the channeling of the funds through the Department of Justice. They're changing their whole premise of how things are being paid. And I wasn't aware that this was happening. So somebody's gotta have it, there's gotta be a central place to get all this information together, because in the end, all the money that we get from COVID, even basically like the in-kind, which is what I was referring to for the unemployment, yes, we're not responsible for that. We get a bill for the $1,700, but we have to account for the money that we've actually would have expended. It's still our liability, but because of the CARES Act, they are taking care of that. We still have to account for that, because that's part of the transparency that we have, and that I'm kind of shifting back to a few other things.
Yeah.
But that whole thing, then taking that into consideration, those are funds that we paid for payroll or got in kind from, so we can't claim that anywhere else. We have monies coming in now, I see for the sheriff's department for overtime. The 92 that we get, we can't spend that on overtime. We can't spend that
Right.
or account for that under this revenue sharing, because it would be basically the double dipping that you're talking about. So
can't
all
do the
these
hazard
random
pay.
grants that are coming in,
Because he's already got a
there's
grant for
gotta
hazard
be a
pay.
there's gotta be someone that can,
I respectfully suggest that, could finance do that? Please don't hit me.
Well, so, I mean, there's only been
I've never
Scott's,
did
right? Scott did
Evidence
his.
of Yeah. physical
Tom-
violence.
You know, I sent him to you.
But
so
that could
That's only
save
2
some.
right now that have been done. And that's the hazard pays and the COVID related. We haven't done anything here.
there has. There's been more than that.
Oh,
I'm sorry, who's the one that's got the final say on what we spend the money on the 92,000 that you were talking about coming
The
in?
Board of Commissioners,
No, I meant, no, who's the one that has the final say from Lansing? Is that the
The federal
governor?
government.
It's the federal government that's gonna have the final say on that money?
They're gonna be the ones auditing.
Oh, because that's where they
the
got
money.
it from.
It's coming from the state, but it's funneled through the state. The pass-through comes through the state, just like the
So-
federal forest. The state gives us this money, we distribute it. It comes from the federal government.
So the federal government will be the one that'll tell us, no, you can't do that.
Correct.
at the end of the day, the county lost $92,000 this year.
in the general fund.
Maybe.
Potentially.
No, because any cost, realistically, because any costs have to be associated with COVID-19.
We don't know what those can be yet, though. I mean,
Well,
it's more
It's
flexible
not
than what
gonna
we're
be what we spend
anticipating.
money on regularly.
Yeah.
Right, if it's a COVID-19 cost,
That's above
Oh,
and beyond.
it was a cost we would.
I'm on board fully. I just, maybe it's more flexible than what we are fearing.
It cost for keeping people, covering payroll is a covered, a percentage of that, or a certain amount of
Yeah.
that is covered cost, but you have to take into consideration, there is the one you were speaking of, we got one from the sheriff's department, there
That was
the
over and
hazard.
above their wages though, wasn't it? That was a hazard pay.
We're talking two different things, there was one that came in today that I wasn't,
Oh, I didn't know
I
I
that
didn't know
one.
about that either.
got your name on it.
My name?
Yeah. And then the prosecuting attorney, I heard the courts had turned in some information. There was CARES Act money that came through the ambulance for Medicaid issues back in April, maybe. So all these things have
Yeah.
come in and they were supposed to be, and I just need to know who's handling that.
Well, we need to have a checklist and they need to contact whoever all the way down the line. I mean, and
But we
I
need a
didn't know.
special person that's gonna, or at least one or two people that are gonna coordinate this. And make sure that when this next grant, because you're just talking about the, Mr. Covella.
yeah, see,
Covella.
yeah.
So there's another grant that you're talking about. You gotta make sure it's not overlapping things that have already been done. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's been, I mean, I've been doing my best to track as they come in and as I'm aware of them. But to apply for another grant for $100,000 when you're overlapping what's already been received, I think is very unprudent.
Yeah, well, the one that Bill was doing was, yeah, they checked that and made sure nothing gets overlapped, and it could be all kinds of things or nothing depending on what's already been taken care of.
Well, and you could lose both sets of funds.
Correct.
So
That was my first part. I just wanted to let you know that.
I didn't realize there were that all
Oh,
these other elected officials have been out there.
Gee, maybe it's time for a motion to adjourn.
Not till I'm done.
I'm just,
Audit is up and in. F-65 was turned in yesterday. I will review the qualifying statement. That was not done yesterday. Mentioned the revenue sharing, the appropriations for county fund, that are from the general fund to the other county funds. I do know that the child care fund is in the negative and they need an appropriation dispense. And I don't know what your procedure is going to be moving forward. It used to happen, and when it was,
Just do journal entry transfer.
okay, well, I'm not,
Yeah, well, finance
okay,
normally do
that's
that.
what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be, are we going to still go through finance, and if it comes up, we see someone needs money that we appropriated for, is that what the procedure is
I mean,
gonna
it's
be?
already budgeted, so
I
it's not
understand
a.
that, but I can't just
Right,
take money
yeah.
and move it.
No, oh, no, of course,
Adam, what do you guys have any other ideas on that? I mean, normally it has been if it was appropriated already, it just went.
Yes, we'll just
We'll
talk
just bring
about
it
it
up at
at
finance.
finance meeting,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
And we can do all the paperwork there, mechanics.
All right. Working towards getting the property sales going, we have, right now, we're at 150 properties that will be posted, starting this week, that I'll be posting for the foreclosure process. We had a decision, in the Zettel case of the county, that was held in the county of Charlevoix, and I know you guys were all informed of that the class was approved for Charlevoix only, and we were dismissed from that portion of it. This was not the one that is pending in the Court of Appeals. This was a brand new one that we didn't know about until 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we're out of that one, thank goodness. But we still do have two other cases that are open, and any questions, I would ask that you refer that to Tom. We are working, he has asked for the information for the last
12 is what I saw.
12 years is what we went to, so I'm working on that. Now that the audit is potentially completed, I have asked Ken to come to virtually to the 16th meeting for a closing exit interview. Other than that, we sent out 1,200 notices for delinquent taxes on bright green paper and have had the phones ringing off the hook. Anybody have any questions?
Is that up from before, or is that pretty much standard?
That's pretty close.
Okay.
Has anybody ever, during this time period with all the money that's been coming in, has anybody been able to settle better, or is?
Honestly, it's been pretty standard. We've had a few people talk about the issues that they have as they live downstate, so they're not able to get up here. But other than that, we've had some people who have settled with the funds that they received. They said, hey, we got this money and we're taking care of our taxes. Kind of all over human nature. But we've been working with everybody and trying to get them in a good place.
No.
Any other questions? All right.
I don't know that the treasurer's question was answered as far as.
We'll talk about it at the finance meeting this afternoon, right after this.
If the board's fine with it, I'll make a letter and send it out. I would assume, you're talking about the grants.
We need to collate all the
Yeah,
information
yeah.
on grants.
Send a letter
that we
out.
have.
Compilation.
I mean, there should be anybody other than elected officials signing
Oh,
up for
no,
grants, right?
Not true, not true.
Well, the library got some. So what it
They have
is,
their own
Got
board
some.
that they can do that through.
right, but the thing is, we
We don't have like
We may have to.
IT, John, you're doing grants or something, right? Is it just,
It's any money attached to COVID.
That's coming into the county.
no, if you applied for a grant, then that's what we have to find out.
right?
Find out who applied for grants, what it is, and what the
It
status is.
should be only elected officials that have done that because they run their
Well-
office and they have that freedom to do that.
Whether it should or not, that's, if there's ones that exist, we need to find out, so.
Well, then somebody's forging my name. You shaking your head no, but if they're doing it under this thing, they're forging my name because I didn't sign it.
But maybe it's something you didn't have to sign.
Well, that would be an elected official could do that.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, they did because Scott did it and so did, although I signed Scott's. But I don't remember signing Tom's.
Well, that's the purpose of, we have to find out what's
Yeah.
out there, what's happening.
All right. I'll make a letter up and send it to everybody's review and then send it out.
Finance said they were going to handle this.
No, that's not what I said. I said I'll talk to Cheryl about it at our finance meeting.
And
We'll
then
decide how we will handle it.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. But I guess my point was, I don't know that the letter from the chair is appropriate at this time, until you guys.
A letter from the chair to
Everybody
everybody
is
saying,
what's
if you
going to be
have any
saying.
grants,
If any
if you've
grants,
applied for, been awarded a set of grants, you need to forward the
We must
information
know.
immediately.
it's come to our attention that some grants have been applied for and received and we didn't know about it. We need to know that to keep integrity in the treasurer's office and in our budget and knowing where monies are
Who are you
going.
going to have them refer this information to if they do?
Finance.
So why does the finance write the letter?
I don't know. Don't want me to write the letter?
It's not that I don't, it's, let's have direct lines as much as we can. I mean,
We'll get her. We'll get it.
the power rests with finance, and so.
All right.
I'd love
Anything
for that
else,
to be
Cheryl?
true. I'd love for that to be true. The power rests with finance. I can attest that is not true.
That isn't. Not necessarily. Okay. Trina, you reporting for clerk's office?
Sure. Right now, Stephanie and the rest of our office is working diligently to prepare for the November election. We're still awaiting our proof ballots. We're gonna be submitting all of that information as of September 4th. To get our final ballots on the way. So, we're just working diligently at that and continuing.
All right. Any questions? Trina? Come on, she needs some hard ones. No? All right, communications you have there. Committee reports, Gary, do you have anything?
Community, mental, district health met and, basically they're still, the biggest thing is the COVID thing that's going on. They're still trying to get some things done with the PFAS. And, the Council on Aging, they're going over their concepts as far as this new senior center. And I think they've revealed a location. I don't remember exactly where it was. It was out near the industrial area. And other than that, there have been no township meetings or anything else. This has been the weird month with the extra days, so next month I'll have a whole bunch, or next meeting.
Mm-hmm. Adam, do you have anything?
Yeah, I do. In the spirit of putting numbers together for budgeting for 2021, what do the members of the personnel committee need from everybody else in order to begin union talks with the unions that are up for grabs this year? I know POM, COAM for sure, but I think there's a third, right?
Pardon me?
Is there a third or just the two?
And I just found my letter on my desk, so I didn't hand it to you. So they have a list of what they're requesting, information.
I'm not
Yeah,
aware.
I didn't give it to her yet.
Oh,
It was sitting on my desk.
so they've already started. That's excellent because usually we're not talking to these guys until
Mm-hmm.
October, November.
Yep.
Good. So I guess what I'm saying is, if whatever you need, let me know, or send me an email or whatever to expedite and get that stuff rolling. Because we can't fill in a lot of the budget numbers without knowing
Absolutely.
how that's gonna go down. That's all I have for committee.
Carolyn?
Precious Paws did get their grant, and so at this time, there would be no need to consider an adjustment in their rent. Emergency Food and Shelter Program divided the money that they had, $6,700, $6,740 went to, half of that went to ACCOA and half went to the Methodist Food Pantry. Sunrise Center is full, which is great. We, and all members are either through the Saginaw entity or through NEMRI as far as payment for those fundings. Not much else.
All right, EDC meeting, we met a couple times actually. Things with broadband that are going on, maybe some more grant money from a NEMCOG grant or actually an EDA grant, something with this federal government. That's down the road though. Yeah, we didn't have any township meetings either, anything else, so pretty slow, pretty open. Public comment? Anyone? Dave? Anything?
Well, I just want to give an update. I mean, things are really quite busy up in the Register of Deeds office. Over the month of July and August, we've recorded over $100 or over 100 documents more than our average. So
More than average.
yes, properties
Yeah, real
are
estate's
selling
nuts right
extremely
now.
It
fast.
is.
We are recording a lot of documents. It's very, very busy.
Full price.
More than they're getting like above.
Bidding it up, over full price.
If you ever want to sell your house, now's the time.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife.
Now's the time.
And do what? Move to the city? Oh boy, I think that's what's
I'm
happening.
moving with my mother-in-law.
All right, anything else? We're public, Adam.
You have a handout.
Yeah, Carrie had.
Okay, hold on, Carrie. Anybody else here? No. All right. Carrie, do you have something you wanted to speak to?
Yeah, I just want you, at one point in time, you guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. At one point in time, you mentioned a court case against Whitmer. And on that line, the Unlock Michigan petitions that have been circulating, we're getting a lot closer to the number that we need to submit. And it may very well, by repealing the 1945 Emergency Powers of Governor Act, impact some of your decisions there, hopefully for the positive. But I just wanted to mention that to you guys, something to think about in the future down the road. I'd like to thank Terry Small for coming to our meeting for the Alcona County Republicans and speaking. It was very, very nice of him and a welcome change of pace from our normal meetings. So with that being said, thank you guys very much. It's good seeing you. Obviously, I've got dogs playing around in the background, so that's why I couldn't be there personally, but thank you guys. All right.
Thank you, Carol. All right, any other public comment? Commissioners, additional comments? Gary?
No, I'll skip it today.
Adam?
Nope.
I don't either. Until I get a confirmation here from Joe, we'll see about a 2:30 informational thing. So as soon as I get that,
you'll know about the 2:30.
I don't know.
This is from Bill, right?
Bill, yeah, this Bill Pavella. All right.
So you want to adjourn?
Yes.
I mean, not adjourn, but
No, we're gonna adjourn. We don't have to have a meeting. It's just gonna be informational, so we're not gonna. Really not gonna. I don't have.
even with all of us in here together.
If you guys want to keep it a meeting, that's fine. I don't.
I mean, I'm just asking for those.
All we're doing is gathering information.
I don't know how it works.
Let's adjourn because I don't even know if he's gonna be here. All right.
Okay.
All
There's a question
All right.
and two of us can
Yep.
we'll watch it.
All right. So moved. It's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.